Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Welcome to the Dhammapada program of the Buddha Dharma TV. Today we are going to discuss the verse number 81 of the chapter 6 on the voice. It begins with Selo yatha ekagano vati na samirati evan ninda pasamsasu na samijjanti pandita. The literal meaning is that the voice remained unchanged, unmoved, and unruffled, both by praise and humiliation. The voice remains unshaken under all vicissitudes of life, like the solid rock that withstands the buffetings of wind, unmoved. This is a very important piece of advice, like all other advices given in the Dhammapada. There are 8 kinds of fortune, good and bad, that affect people. It's called labha, alabha. Labha means gain, alabha means loss. Ayaso, yasocha, neglect and attention. Ninda, pasamsu. Ninda, humiliation. Pasamsa, praise. Sukha, pleasure. And dukkha, pain. Those words, labha, alabha, ayaso, yaso, ninda, pasamsa, sukha, dukkha, all these Pali words have big meaning. These are 8 kinds of fortunes. These 8 are described as the 8 vicissitudes of life. Atta loka dhamma. The ordinary masses are shaken by these vicissitudes, but the wise remain unshaken by them. The wise ones are aware of the changing nature of the world. In response, they remain unmoved by it. In this stanza, this mental stability is compared to the stability of the rock that remains unshaken by the wind. The awareness of the wise ones and their unshaken mind in the face of such vicissitudes are important to know. The wise person considers all these vicissitudes carefully and notes that they are subject to fluctuation. His mind is not shaken by good fortune, nor is he depressed by misfortunes. It is this recognition impermanence that helps him preserve his calm. This recognition of impermanence that helps anyone to preserve his calm. Of course, the wise one. Though diminutive in stature, this was a piece of advice given in this verse. Once upon a time, there was a group of monks living near the Buddha. And there was a recently ordained elderly person who was short in stature. So those monks and nuns made fun out of him. Sometimes they even pull his nose and robes and made fun out of him. But he has never been angry. He has never been, whatever form, didn't express his dissatisfaction. Therefore, these monks inform the attitude of this monk to the Buddha. At that time, Buddha uttered this Selo yatha eka gano vate na samirati evan ninda pasansatsu na sapanjanti pandita. It is good to know this beautiful meaning of this verse. And Buddha said that even disturbed by anything, the wise remain unmoved and unruffled both by praise and humiliation. The wise remain unshaken under all circumstances of life, like the solid rock that withstands the buffetings of wind unmoved. Ninda pasansasu, both in praise and blame, the ordinary people tend to be shaken. When someone sees that something goes wrong, they are depressed. When things go well, they are elated. But the wise are unshaken. Whatever the fortune they face, it is said that people in general face 8 kinds of vicissitudes. They are described. In Pali language, like labho, alabho, ayaso, yasocha, ninda, pasansa, sukhamcha, dukkham, ete anicca manusi dhamma asassati viparinama dhamma. There are 8 kinds of fortune. And 8 are described as the 8 vicissitudes of life. The ordinary masses are shaken by these vicissitudes, but the wise remain unshaken by them. The wise ones are aware of the change in nature of the world. In response, they remain unmoved by it. They remain unmoved by it. In this instance, this mental stability is compared to the stability of the rock that remains unshaken by the wind. The awareness of wise ones and the unshaken mind in the face of such vicissitudes are summed up in the commentary. Knowing this, the mind of sage closely observes the changing experience, his mind not lured by pleasing experience. What is not pleasing, he does not hate. All these vicissitudes are subject to fluctuation. Therefore, one's mind is not shaken by good fortune, nor is he depressed by misfortune. It is this recognition of impermanence that helps the wise to preserve his calm. This, regarding the nature of this monk who got his ordination later part of his life, whose name was Bhaddiya, Lakuntaka Bhaddiya was added name was because he was short in stature. So he was called Lakuntaka Bhaddiya. Though he was diminutive in stature, he had a melodious voice. Among the 8 Maha Arhats, his voice was preeminent. Of all gifts of speech, is the most precious. His superb voice came next to the Buddha's voice, which is compared to the singing of the bird called Kuravika, the Indian nightingale of the Himalayas, the king of the birds with a sweet voice. His short stature, from which the name Lakuntaka came, was the result of a past karma. Arhant, the enlightened Lakuntaka Bhaddiya's voice was deeply prized. In the Bhaddiya Sutta, the Buddha praised him, saying that he, though humpbacked and unsightly, was highly gifted, and his character was most lofty. Buddha declared that Lakuntaka Bhaddiya was preeminent in the Sangha for his voice. His voice was vibrating with music, bringing men to Dhamma's fold, curing minds by the psychic. Though he was pure and funny to behold, so it was nice. He was funny to behold. That was Buddha's explanation regarding this Lakuntaka Bhaddiya. The Zen monks made fun out of him. But he was unshaken because he is advanced, enlightened. Just like a rock that will never be shaken by the powerful wind, so are the enlightened wise ones, will never be shaken, will never be moved by the praise or blame, by the gain or loss. So we also have a lot to learn from this. We must try to balance our life. We should not, when we get something, we should not be overjoyed. Always to be joyful is good, but not overjoyed. Because when there's praise, blame is inherent in that. When the gain is there, Loss is inherent there. When the birth is there, death is inherent there. When the praise is there, blame is inherent there. So we should not change according to circumstances. We must face them intelligently. We must try to understand the true nature of these things. So it is not only for one, but for everyone, gain and loss, blame and praise. All these things are present with us. Be aware of those things. Be aware of those things. Try to face the situation accordingly. Because somebody blames, you should not react. When you don't react, you try to respond. That is the real way to handle the situation like that. Also, when somebody praises you, you should not be moved by that, but try to understand. Blame is inherent in the praise. In blame, there is praise is inherent. These are the vicissitudes of life. If it is raining today, there will be sunshine tomorrow. If it is cold today, tomorrow will be warmer. If it's a pleasure today, there will be pain tomorrow. So these are we call world order of the universe, kind of order of universe. So we should not be moved by them. We should not be moved by them. We should try to understand the situation and face them intelligently. Then we will be very happy. That is the meaning of this verse number 81. May you all be well and happy.